Hi there and welcome to another Coolsmartphone video. Today we have a parcel that has arrived and I believe this is going to be a little care package from OnePlus. So without further ado, let's flip the cameras around to the other side and we will have a look and see what this actually contains. Cheers! Here's the package we received from DHL. Let's dive in. And as I suspected, this is the brand new OnePlus 13. So we'll pop that down there. And we've got a couple of other goodies. So we've got an AirVook OnePlus charger, 50-watt wireless charger. And we've got a OnePlus 13 sandstone magnetic case. And then we've got some gloves. So we'll just get that out of the way. We'll deal with the accessories first. So, a pair of gloves. I'm sure the reasoning for that will become clear. So we've got a case here, OnePlus 13 sandstone magnetic case. I have a feeling this is going to be like their previous cases, which hark back all the way back to the original OnePlus, that have the sandstone effect. Weird little info sheet there, and then that's the case, and it does have a textured finish to it which should aid grip, and you can see there's ridges and stuff on the side. Leave that off to the side. And in the other box we've got our OnePlus AirVook 50-watt magnetic charger. So they're embracing the whole magnetic thing, and that simply just sits there. You've got a cooling fan, which looks to be quite a large fan, and then you've got vents on either side, USB micro C, and then that's your base plate. And then in here, I expect we'll have a little instruction guide, which we do. Yep, little instruction booklet. And I believe that's it. So there's no charging cable included with that. Let's see what we get in the box. There's definitely no power brick. Get that back in the box for now, so we'll pop that up here as well. And just before I pop it away, just to show you, it works magnetically. So that magnet that holds on to the back of the case, lining up with the magnets that are in the case, as you can see there. And if we quickly throw some power into it. Sorry, it's just out of shot. That would be charging if it was on a phone, so we'll come back and test that later. And then last but not least, we have the phone itself. So, lifting up the lid, we've got the Never Settle logo front and center. And then in here, we've got the standard OnePlus USB Type A to Type C red charging cable. Love to see that. Thankfully, they're still putting them in there. And then we've got quick guide, SIM pin, safety guide, and that looks like that's all there is in there. So there's no power brick, hardly surprising given the thickness of the box. Oh, and I failed to mention, sorry for the notification tone there, We have the 16 gig 512 gig model. It says Ebony Eclipse on there, but I believe the actual name is going to be called Black Eclipse on the production variants. This is a pre-production unit. So, phone out of the case comes in this plasticized sort of wrapper. We'll just slide that out, and there you go. That's the phone front and center. So on the front here, we've got our screen, which is measuring in at 6.82 inches diagonal. The height of the phone is 162.9 mil, so 163 mil. Width, it's 76.5 across there, and thickness, it varies depending on which one you have. So if you have the Arctic Dawn or Black Eclipse, which is this is the Black Eclipse, it's 213 grams, whereas if you have the Midnight Ocean, which is the stunning blue leather effect, vegan leather one, then that comes in at 210 grams because it's slightly lighter. I do really like the finish on that. It's quite a smooth finish, but again, it does have texture. It's got the Hasselblad logo front and center with a little design detail there. You've got your camera array, the OnePlus logo, and then your usual CE markings down the bottom. On the right hand side, we've got our power button, volume up and down. On the top, we've got a couple of different mic arrays. One of them looks like, yep, that one in the middle looks like it's actually an IR blaster, a speaker air vent, and then a tiny speaker grill in there. You can barely see it. And then on the left hand side, our standard staple OnePlus notification switch. Really like them. A couple of antenna lines. Nothing else on there apart from another antenna line. Quite smooth finish. Metal, as you'd expect for a flagship. SIM tray. A couple more mics. USB Type-C charging, and then some speaker grills. Coming back to the screen, in terms of the aspect ratio, we have a 19.8 by 9 with a resolution of 3168 vertical and 1440 horizontal, giving QHD plus, and we have a PPI of 510 PPI. Peak max brightness is 4,500 nits with an average of 1600. Refresh rate is up to 120 Hertz. We'll just get this fired up now. I have set the phone up, so this should boot up. And it also supports 120 Hertz Pro XDR with LTPO 4.1, so that means it will be able to reduce all the way down to 1 Hertz and all the way max up to 120 Hertz dynamic refresh. It is 100% display P3 and 10-bit color depth, and it's a ceramic glass that is being used, and there is a pre-applied screen protector. Lots and lots of features with regard to the screen and the color modes and things like that. There will be a full specs table in the article that is joining this on Coolsmartphone.com. Inside the phone itself, let me just pop my pin in. We have a Snapdragon 8 Elite platform. This is one of the newer, it's one of the latest devices to be released with that Snapdragon 8 Elite. Now, you might be able to see here, we've also got a 6,000 milliamp hour battery. And as I mentioned, this is the 16 gig of RAM version. We've also got 12 gig of VRAM if we want to use it. Front camera is a 32 megapixel, and then we've got a range of 3 50 meg rear cameras, which I'll come back to later. And that's just another little bit of info, and we're running Android 15 out of the box. That's the latest version that is currently available. So I believe the device will also come as a 12 gig variant, so which will have 256 gigs of storage as well. It is a dual cell battery system, and you've also got a haptic motor in there as well. As I mentioned briefly earlier, you do have your charging brick for wireless charging, but you've also got up to 100 watts charging with the appropriate SuperVOOC charger. I don't believe I've got a 100 watt one, but I do have a 60 or an 80 somewhere, so I will try and test that out. Your AirVOOC is capable of up to 50 watts, and that will be with the appropriate charger. Now, it does look like you need the case for this to be fully magnetic, so what we'll do is we'll pop the case on, and we'll pop that on, and you can see there, that's your charging brick applied quite nicely. Now, as I said, I'll try and get this in shot for you. Just plug the charger in, and we'll see what happens. So you can see we've got some blinking, and the fan has started to activate. And then we've also got your charging graphic on the front, which shares that ring-like pattern with the magnetic charging. This is quite loud, I will say that. So maybe not one for the bedside table, but if you're out and about, it'd be more than suitable. So we'll pop that off for now. Come back to the phone. So, in terms of the cameras, we do have various camera arrays on the back. So we've got three 50 megapixel cameras here, and you've got a LED dual flash on there, and a little pinhole mic. So the three cameras. Now I'm going to get these the wrong way around, but I will try my best. So I believe we're going to have the 50 megapixel main sensor, 50 meg ultra wide, and then there's also going to be a 50 meg telescopic as well. Now all of these cameras are supported by Hasselblad software. Yeah. So 50 meg main, 50 meg telephoto, 50 meg ultra wide. They do all support multi autofocus, as you would expect for any sort of flagship, and they will support up to 8K video resolution at 30 frames per second, or if you prefer shooting at 4, you can get up to 60 frames per second. Video zoom support, 4K at 60 frames. Dolby Vision, you've got 4K at 60 frames per second again, and movie mode up to 4K at 30 frames per second. You've also got multi-scene video recording, which will be at 1080p at 30 frames per second, and slow-mo 1080p at 240 frames per second, or 720p at 480. Wow, that's a lot to go through. In terms of the camera, on the front, we do have a 32 megapixel camera, which as you can see is capable of facial recognition. And that has a sensor size of 1 over 2.74. Going briefly back to the main camera, you've got a sensor of 1 over 1.4. And it's a 7 element lens. But as I said, I will put all of these specs in the adjoining article because there's too many to list here. Connectivity wise, it will support all the bands. So you've got 5G, 4G, 3G, 2G. in the UK, and then you've got WCDMA support in America, and you've also got up to Wi-Fi 7 support with everything below that, Bluetooth 5.4 with easy pair set up for use with OnePlus devices such as OnePlus Nord 3 Pro Buds, which I happen to have here, and of course it's not going to show up. There you go. So it's now showing that they're set up and connected, and that will also support multiple devices at the same time, which is a really nice feature. NFC capable, so you've got the ability to use all your payment services. You do have fingerprint on the front, which I showed earlier, so it's an ultrasonic fingerprint reader, and it is really fast, really nice to use. You do have USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type-C, which will support standard Type-C headphones. I've not checked to see if it supports video out, but as there is no video out mode for OnePlus, it's not something I can see myself using. The alert slider has your 3 positions, as I already mentioned, and then you have support for all of the common multimedia formats. Having had the phone out of the box for a little while now, a couple of days, I have been using it. As you can see, I've set everything up. It is really smooth, really fast to use, 120 frames per second screen. Battery life, too early to say, but I've no complaints from what I've used so far, and it's just overall a really nice phone. So of course there will be a full review coming very soon, as I've managed to get this device a little bit early, so I expect to have a full review out in the next couple of days. But that is the OnePlus 13, which is launching today and will be available to order from the OnePlus website very soon. So thank you very much for your time today, and if you like this channel, please give us a like and a thumbs up, and also a subscribe to the Coolsmartphone channel would be really good, as I know there is a lot of viewers, but not that view count doesn't relate to the subscription count, and it all helps at the end of the day with the metrics. So without further ado, I will leave you to enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye. Just a little extra there to finish. I did mention that this came with a pair of gloves, so I believe this is because the phone can be used with gloves on. I'm just going to put this glove on, and you can see it still responds to touch. With the gloves on. It's not the most accurate, but that's something I need to dive into. Perhaps there is a glove mode, so let's try that. There we go, gloves mode. Turn that on. And with gloves mode on, you can see a little bit more responsive. That's pretty good going for glove mode. So gloves are fully supported, which is really handy for the winter. So just a little bit extra there, just to show you what the gloves are all about. Thanks.